Presentation of the Epicenter Moscow LAN, and today we are covering the C qualifier. I am Luminous, and joining me is none other than Tsunami, and we are in the lower bracket of the C qualifiers. Loser of this best of 3 is eliminated. Winner moves on and get a chance to actually fight the loser between Clutch Gamer and Faceless, which will be played tomorrow. But for now, we'll get Happyfeet versus Mineski. The draft is on the way. Darkseer, Crystal Maiden, and Shadowfiend for Mineski, and they got Abaddon and Venge for Happyfeet. Neo, we watched Mineski quite a bit, but we never watched him with Mag. He's the new addition to the team, and they've been doing pretty well ever since adding him.
Yeah, I'm looking at the bracket, and on May 9th was their first game in this qualifier against Clutch Gamers, and they got 2-0'd. And then on May 10th, they added Mag, and since then, they've been 2-0ing everyone else. They 2-0'd MVP Revolution, they 2-0'd Fnatic, and now they're going up against Happyfeet, which Happyfeet has also been doing pretty well. They had a default win against TNC, and they 2-0'd GeekFam, but yeah, this is probably going to be the real test for Mag to see how far he's come along and how far he's been fitting in, because I actually haven't seen his performance with Mineski. I just see the numbers, and the numbers are looking good.
Yep, and I think Mag traditionally has been those off lanes that don't really specialize in a particular playstyle or any particular heroes. He's just kind of good in every single situation, and I think that's really the strength of some of the most popular off lane players like Universe. It makes it really easy for the captain to draft whatever they need to, and then have the off lane to kind of fit in. This game, though, it's going to be the Darkseer. It looks like we are going to see the Shadowfiend plus Clockwork combination. If you do it properly, you can leave the base with at least 12 to 15 souls. He has practiced that, and Mushi will get a very easy mid lane.
Yeah, it's not really something that teams will care to ban out, but now that Clockwork is starting to see a little bit of a resurgence, it's possible that teams might have to, consider that to be a bigger factor. The hero, I feel, is more suited to the offlane position as opposed to this kind of semi-support role that he's been seen in, but it's kind of up to the team to make it work and allow Clockwork to be able to get a good start, because if he doesn't find kills early on, if he doesn't create space for his cores early on, then Hookshot isn't as useful as an ability as it would be for an offline Clockwork, because you will initiate and then you'll just instantly feed because you're just so far behind the enemy team. But I'm sure Mineski probably has practice with it, and I've seen it enough times that Clockwork support is not surprising to me anymore.
Yeah, I would say that his talent tree is actually really beneficial for the supportive role. Because you could pick up the 200 mana talent, I believe it's 200 or it's a 250 at level 10, and generally that solves a lot of your mana issues early on, or if you want some physical armor, he has armor as well. And I think the 15 talent in particular is really nice. You get a Rocket Flare upgrade, or an option for the Rocket Flare upgrade, which for support, it could catch up on farm, or allows you to split push and things of that nature. So I hear you, he's probably better suited. And now we have a Pudge final pick for Happyfeet. I think he's better suited for the offlane role, but his talent tree, I think, makes it a lot easier to make the transition into a 4.
Yeah, that's a good point. The only issue is that sometimes, since he's the initiating hero, he will often die before the enemies start going down, and so he doesn't really get to participate in that experience gain, allowing him to get levels. But a lot of times I've been seeing even Clockworks pick up a Midas just to make sure that they can guarantee getting those talents are going to be able to secure their late game, and obviously securing some items as well. But yeah, Happyfeet coming out with a Pudge, which the draft can definitely fit a Pudge in. Troll mid, VS core, and a bad and offlane Pudge can easily roam around, as all 3 of these lanes give him really good kill potential, especially if Shadow Shaman also chooses to roam around with him. And Mineski don't really have the best team to deal with that kind of roaming presence of a Pudge. Crystal Maiden is an okay support, but not really the best at keeping a Shadowfiend alive. You just have to hope that your TP comes in time, and Terrorblade is also not really a hero that can deal with that kind of heavy rotation that Happyfeet kind of seem to be presenting.
So as the draft was presented, I thought this was going to be a mid-tro and a carry Venge. And it seems like that is going to be the case. Jules has been a carry player for Happyfeet. And this is what I believe Newbie did yesterday. They play carry Venge and Kaka on the support Pudge, and he single-handedly carried his team to victory. And you could definitely understand why, right? Like, Vengeful Spirit, easy magic missile into a hook. You got the Shadow Shaman to back it up. And this particular lane between Venge, Shadow Shaman, and Pudge has the ability to go on tri-lane, offensive tri-lane if they want to, or just play it defensive. I think against the Terrorblade, you have a strong possibility of going offensive. The only thing that makes it somewhat annoying is the Atom Clockwork. Like, a good Cogs against the tri-lane could make it, you know, pretty rough for them when they're trying to force out kills.
Yeah, but since it's not like a dedicated offlane Clockwork, he's going to need to be in the right spot at the right time, because Cogs definitely requires some setup, and if you're the team that's getting initiated on, Clockwork has not necessarily got that luxury of being like, oh, okay, I see 3 heroes, now is the time to start moving in and put down a Cog. So in addition to the value of the Clockwork, vision is going to be critical for both teams really this game, but especially Mineski.
Oh, you got the Clockwork for vision, so
true.
There's that. Do you know if the Shackle range is longer than the Cogs range? I believe that's the case. I think Shackle is...
I think Shackle's like 600.
No, it's actually
500.
I think it's 500 with the talent. Does it say right now on the hero?
Let me see.
I think it's like 400 or something.
Oh, you're right. It's 500 with the talent. Yeah, it's 400 by default.
Yeah, and so it does outranges the power cogs, but only if you know, come in at the right angle. And Mushi is currently has 6 souls. Yeah. You know, currently I gotta say Adam is not getting his own stats going. He could also be denying his own cogs one at a time.
Oh man, it's true. You gotta raise those numbers.
There you go. Buff them stats. Alright, we're gonna
I'm always surprised whenever you see teams doing this that they don't aggressively invade more often, but it looks like this time Happyfeet are going to be wise to it. They already have Jesse, Vash, Pudge with a very prime ward waiting. They're actually going to guess the right approach angle for Mineski.
Okay.
So it's going to be 4-on-4.
I mean, they will have the vision on Adam right now, but Adam has the Iron Shell in the front. This is a very hard one. In fact, he could Cog him in. The Cog is going to hit, and so is going to be the Magic Missile. Adam trying to run from the right side. Mushi now pushing away from the Pudge. The rune is still being fought on. Mushi really going in. Now Mag moving forward. The hook being threatened out here by Jesse Vash. Now he's coming on the back line. Shackle going off as well. Nobody dying just yet, but a lot of damage has been outputted. And it looks like Adam might die. He does have Cog available to him. Will not use it. Mushi being pushed out as well. At the end of the day, nobody dies. A lot of damage has been traded. And I want to say that Mineski...
The rune was picked up by Jules, so Vengeful Spirit got it.
And Mushi does not have it. And Mushi has to go back and Shrine and port back. Yeah, he's actually buying a port as well. So definitely a big victory here for Happyfeet. Also, Clockwork had to go back as well.
Yeah, but that's not the biggest deal. Clockwork, like we said, he's not going to be... Well, okay, now he's going back into the offlane. I'm surprised that they're going to be helping out Mag, but it seems like Mag is getting bullied pretty heavily. Magic Missile connects.
He's juking in the trees right now. He's got the Iron Shell, and now Adam's coming in position as well. Perhaps could pop Cogs? Nope. It's just going to be a Cogs for the pushback. And I think this is the reason why he's here, because without him being here, I could feel like they easily overpower the Darkseer by, you know, Magic Missile, Hook.
That's true, but then it may be in Mag's best interest just to go so straight into the jungle and let Clockwork deal with these kinds of shenanigans, because if he manages to get a Cogs down, which with only 400 range on Shackles, most of the time you'll see the roster walking up to you, then you're going to be pretty safe. Yeah, Hook is still a threat, but if you have to dedicate 2 solid offlane heroes when you only need 1 and the other one can jungle, then it seems like a little bit of a waste of resources.
I think it's a very good calculated move here by Mineski. I do agree with you. They do have the option to go jungle, but let's not forget Vengeful Spirit and Pudge are the 2 heroes that you definitely want a decent early laning stage. So I think by trading Mag's farm in the lane, you know, again, he could go in the jungle, but by him and the Clockwork staying here, they are slowing down the Pudge and the Venge in a sense. And now you can see Pudge only, level 1 and a quarter, trying to make a move on the mid lane, and that level 1 hook is not going to be long enough to reach across the river.
Yeah, I was a little bit surprised that Jesse Vash went for Hook at that rune fight instead of Rot. it's especially since I believe he went boots straight out of the base, and so I thought that Rot may have been a little bit more effective. As Ben-Hur gets very low to some raises, might need to spend a shrine because he has no regen left.
Yeah, but overall, I think it's been really paying off really nicely here for the Mineski tri-lane. In fact, Jules might. Oh, they dropped the Cog, they dropped the Surge. It's going to be easy. Two-man Cogs here. Adam now decides to go on James. James is going to get burned down. The Hex, not going to be enough, and he could spend the Cog any times he wants, but he doesn't need to. Just a right-click. And Adams will just get the kill. He currently has double Windlace queued up in his shop, and I would really love to see it.
Got Tranquil straight up completed, and this combination is like pretty rude. Now that Adam has managed to hit level 2, Battery Assault plus Surge plus Ion Shell can take down pretty much every single target guaranteed. And even if you do manage to bring the Rasta in, who's really the only reliable source of Happyfeet disable, like they have Magic Missile, but it's such low duration that Surge will easily be able to time it out. You're gonna have to rely on Shackles to keep Clockwork still, but yeah, it's going to be very intimidating as Pudge just has not really cared to come back to the bot lane, still fishing on Mushi, but hasn't found a window yet.
Yeah, I think as long as Mushi doesn't give Pudge too many free kills in the next 2-3 minutes, the laning stage is really going to work out well for Mineski. You know, we haven't really looked at or talked about the top lane, but Raging Potato is farming extremely well. Let's not forget that Ninja Boogie has also been ducking the jungle for a camp or two as well. So he is...
level 3.
Yeah. Uh-oh. Although, yeah, just going for a kill here. Reflection has to be cast here. The shield is going to break. Ninja Boogie getting somewhat blocked, though. He does have the Frostbite cooldown. He will Frostbite here. And now Adam getting in position. He is popped. Nicely done here. The Cog and the Battery Assault. What a great bait by Ninja Boogie. And, well, top lane. Won here by Mineski.
Yeah, this is what we're talking about. Clockwork needs to be at the right place at the right time. And thankfully, he had a TP prepared. Meanwhile, Mushi might be in trouble here.
Oh,
but he's gonna shrine.
Mag also in a little bit of trouble. Dead. They got the... Wait, what the hell is Jesse Vash doing? He had the hook available the whole time. He was stunned by Magic Missile and Shackle, but did not lay it off, so...
Creeps, perhaps, I suppose? Yeah, that sucks. That should have been a definite kill onto a Darkseer.
Right.
But... And this Darkseer is huge. Level 5 right now, so he's gotten so much out of this lane, and not having to die, not having to give up all that experience to a Pudge.
Right.
Jesse Vash is really sad right now.
I think largely that's due to Adam's excellent play on the bottom. Like, just him being there for the first 2 minutes. Which is pretty common. You know, you see a support helping out the off lane. But in this particular combination, like you mentioned, the Iron Cell plus a Surge is so good on the Clockwork that they could force out kills. And I like the fact that Mineski now smoked up, looking for a little bit more here.
Yeah, now looking to mid lane, the one lane that hasn't really received too much attention from Mineski, and even without that, Ben-Hur is still getting pretty heavily zoned out. Like, you have to keep in mind that Mushi's deny score is inflated because of all the cogs, but still the fact that Shadow Fiend has been able to keep up so well, it's now bot lane James.
Oh, James is
might
done for. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, nice Hex, but does not do anything to a surged up chicken. James is going to get just right-click down. Adam will take the kill. I just want to mention, Adam with Tranquil and Windlace has 480 movement speed when the Tranquil is not broken. When it's broken, he only has 400. I say only because that's just sarcastic.
And now they're invading. They want to find Jules. They have a scan up if they want to confirm it, and Ninja Boogie has Crystal Nova if they want to get vision.
Well, they're
and
looking
Jules
hard.
Is really scared.
Yeah, they see him. Jules is no way out for him.
And even if Pudge TPs, what can a Pudge do? Even if Troll TPs, what can a Troll do?
Top lane, they're trying to get a return kill here against Jay. Jay being rotted down, there's nothing he can do. He did have the Metamorphosis coming off cooldown, but I don't think he wanted to waste that long cooldown of it to perhaps fight his way out.
Wasn't holding on to his level 6 skill point either. Could have theoretically skilled up Sunder, but already put a second point into Conjure Image, so...
Actually, if he had Metamorphosis and Sunder, I think he at least kills Pudge, and maybe he would have been, like, be able to walk out of it.
I've never been a fan of, like many Wraith King players or Abaddon players, they'll always sit on their level 6 if they need it, and I'm surprised that more Terrorblades don't do that, especially in this situation with Mineski kind of leaving Terrorblade alone. Crystal Maiden was helping out initially, but then once you leave the TB alone, he's very vulnerable to rotations like this, especially against a Rasta.
Sometimes the greed pays off, but most of the time, you know, dying that level 6 is very costly for a carry. But his team overall is doing amazingly, so I think for Happyfeet, they need to do a lot more to make a comeback.
Yeah, solid 2k net worth advantage. Tier 1 bot went down as Mushi had TP'd down there, and all of the rotations from Mineski have been working out, whereas pretty much none of the rotations for Happyfeet have been, unless they can find Mag up here in the top lane. Hook will have range, but not timed.
I mean, they did get the 1 kill on Terrorblade in the jungle, but apart from that, back in the mid lane, look at this kill. Clockwork just walks in behind on the Troll. Troll is going to try to survive, but the pushback, and now Adam suddenly is... Oh, he's got 4... You know, we were doubting the...
Any issues transitioning on. I'm curious as to what his first item will be. More often than not, it's Blade Mail, but sometimes when you just get an exceptional start with a Clockwork and you have a Crystal Maiden on your team, you can even consider Aghanim Scepter early on.
Oh, I'm thinking about Midas right now if I'm Adam. In fact, Adam
That's true also.
Sees 2 hero, will cog, but now Jesse Vash is inside the cog. He will battery assault. Will he get hooked back in? Yes, he will. Wrong place at the wrong time, perhaps? No, he's gonna just pour it out. He's tanky. Mid lane.
Take it.
Ban her.
DD, one more attack.
Oh, yeah.
Now Ninja Boogie, he's gonna explode with his Aphotic Shield, or just die.
In fact, Yaj is going in right now.
Yaj has no fear.
Yo, he's fine. It's gonna force
if he
TP.
pops this shield twice, no. Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. Still pretty profitable. They've managed to kill off this troll twice in like the span of 5 minutes, and this, I mean, everyone on Happyfeet needs to be able to scale well, because if Clockwork does in fact go for a Midas, which he still hasn't bought anything yet, but he has, you know, gold enough for the Glove of Haste, Shadow Fiend and Terrorblade are much better carries than Troll and Vengeful Spirit, but that's only if the Terrorblade and Shadow Fiend are allowed to get the late game.
Oh, Jules. Is he just dead here? Battery?
No one shot yet.
Yeah, mini stuns are coming through. They do have a defensive hook. Or they go for an offensive one if they want. Pudge is not committing just yet, and now a little bit of miscommunication. Jules just standing in front of the hook. Swap back in. They missed the hook! Adam's on the run, and he's got the win lay, so he's out. Communicated that. It didn't look like it, and not gonna lie, that looks a little bit embarrassing.
Yeah, that was a little awkward. Especially since swap had to be spent. You're only gonna spend that if you want to be able to get a kill, and not the best coordination. Like I said, Jesse Vash has not really been having a very pleasant game right now. At least has managed to complete Tranquil Boots, and while it doesn't seem like much, it's a pretty big spike for a Pudge. The move speed plus being able to sustain Rot allows him to farm a little bit easier, but right now it seems like Jesse Vash is just intent on getting kills. Might fish for the Haste Rune, but gets juked.
Yep. Adam with the Haste Rune.
That can be pretty deadly if he wants to do anything with it, which Mushi's on the bot lane. And they have a pretty aggressive ward in the Radiant jungle, but I guess not until Clockwork hits level 6 hookshot will he want to do anything else.
And Mushi has been pretty active. I like his choice, because that frees up the lane for Clockwork to actually hit that 6. It looks like he's finally dedicating that little bit of time to get it. And once this Clockwork gets to level 6, I am afraid for heroes like Shadow Shaman, Troll Warlord. I mean, they do have the defensive swap, but as you can see, Jules is rarely with the team, so I don't think that option is currently available to Happyfeet.
In Constellation, they'll be able to take this tier 1 tower pretty easily. Ben-Hur has Battle Trance if they want to spend it, but they're concerned about their mid lane as it's now going down. Not denied, unfortunately. But I'm surprised that they're backing off on the top tier 1. Like, if you know that Metamorphosis is spent, you know that Shadow Fiend's down there, you've got Battle Trance up and running, it should be pretty easy, but they're getting intimidated by Mag, who doesn't even have Wall of Replica yet.
Adam, level 6 up here, he is looking to cut off a couple of people on the retreat. Maybe it's the fact that Clockwork is off the map that they are somewhat afraid of, because he was making the journey from mid to top, and at the end of the day, the result is that the tower is protected, and Mag is, what, 100 go away from a finished mech? Oh, no, he's still... Alright, he's now 900 go away from a finished mech. Swap back in, Magic Missile, and this should be a very easy kill, yeah. Nicely done.
Now this tower should be pretty easy. With Metamorphosis down, there's no real easy way for Mineski to be able to defend this, but still, they've had to waste a lot of time.
They want to fight this,
up. Yeah.
This is going to be a 4v3 fight, but looks like Jules is going to pour it out. Jesse Vash, is that their ward? They know he's here. They know.
Yeah, they do. but the Terrorblade's the bigger prize.
Okay, Nova, hook. Defensive hook gonna get
Nice
blocked.
block.
And that should be a kill. Yep, Mushi tries to get the last hit, but Ninja Boogie's nuke will do it. Very, very smart gank here, as they do understand that people generally will port out after the tower, and you know, Wi-Fi 4 when you could just pick the core.
Yeah, that was a pretty good presence of mind to place this dire ward near their own tier 1. I mean, it's a pretty standard ward against Pudges, but many times enemy teams won't expect it because, you know, you take the tower, you imagine that they're putting more defensive wards like in near the mid lane and stuff like that, but yeah, nets them yet another Troll kill, and Troll is 1 in 3 right now, only as FaZe Root still working on the Yasha.
You know, it's not just about the ward, it's also like, normally when you see the enemy team not defending the tier 1, hook on the mid lane here, Adam is gonna get picked here. That's gonna be a pretty big bounty that he's gonna give away. Vacuum back though, Crystal made an ultimate as well. Yaj is gonna pop his ultimate and force Ninja Boogie away. Defensive Surge is gonna be casted. Serpent Ward's also gonna get dropped down here. And the tower should go down, but Mushi is going to make them work for a little bit. Nobody going to right-click the Serpent Ward just yet. Here comes Mushi.
Yeah, he just got his Dragon Lance, and Raging Potato has tons of armor plus a poor man's shield, so he can just burn through that, and that's an expensive cooldown wasted for yet another not tower. Mineski has been doing a really good job at defending all these structures.
You know, ever since they changed the fact that the Serpent Wards don't splash anymore, a lot weaker to heroes like Terrorblade or any illusion-based heroes, because, well, they could just easily chop your wards down and they can't really defend themselves as easily.
Yeah, that's very true.
I do miss the splashing wards of the past.
Oh, hook, mid lane.
Okay.
Metamorphosis, he's dead.
Wait,
Hook does
wait,
not
got the
connect.
shield! Yaj just making things
wow.
happen here, and now looks like they're gonna try to get a return kill on Adam. Adam taking a ton of that damage. Yaj is gonna have the shield pop. That's gonna be yet another kill. Yaj has been super impressive with this play so far. Surge forward, Raging Potato getting blocked by his own illusion, but perhaps another reflection cooling down. He's got the double damage. Couple more right click, one more, and Raging Potato will get himself a double kill.
Yeah, Troll got out, but you look at the net worth and you're like, wait, I kind of would have preferred Troll to die over my Abaddon, because Abaddon is a pretty hefty lead over Troll in terms of net worth. And so, yeah, it's great that you saved your carry, but you have to keep in mind that he's not really that farmed right now, and the fact that he was able to be brought down so easily with just the Clockwork and the... I mean, it is a Metamorphosis double damage Terrorblade, but still, like, I keep harping on it, but Ben-Hur really needs to find a way to recover.
Yep.
He keeps farming in the lane, but they really need to just protect the Radiant jungle and let Ben-Hur farm in there.
I think this game is the reason why you don't see Troll going mid that often, because Troll as a hero really needs a guaranteed good start. And mid lane generally is not the lane to guarantee anything, because roams can happen. Obviously he didn't really get roam on this game, but he just kind of died a lot during the mid game as a result. So now Happyfeet currently is working with 2 cores that needs a good start, but don't have it. The Venge and the Troll. So to me it's up to Abaddon, but given the situation that his team was in, he was really forced to pick up a Vlad. He's now going back for a Hanamitis, but I wonder if that's going to be a little bit too late.
Yeah, because even the cores need a good start, but hell, the supports also need a good start. Shadow Shaman has opted to go for max Ether Shock, which is, you know, a ton of burst damage, and it's great and all, but it's extremely mana intensive, and you can't really use it to farm. And so, if this Shadow Shaman doesn't manage to, well, he looks like he's going for Aether Lens, which is probably a wise choice. If they can manage to take this tier 1 tower down, that would be pretty good as well. Clockwork coming in to defend.
Clockwork Hook here finds the Shaman. There is a pretty decent creep wave, but he drops the wards as well.
And they're killing off the Shadow Fiend.
Okay, Shadow Fiend does get off a huge Requiem. Everyone's low, but they do die. Meanwhile, it looks like the Serpent Wards has taken down the Clockwork. So far, 1 for 3 is a trade. Mag wants to kill. Nice back, but...
Oh, no wall.
Forward, I'm getting a lag spike. What's happening?
He's gonna survive.
Is he? He ported out, I guess? Sorry, I had a huge lag spike and did not see what happened.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm lagging really hard.
Missile was like right in between the gap of the vacuum and the wall of replica being placed, so just got cancelled before putting down the wall. Otherwise, the wall would have almost certainly killed the Vengeful Spirits. So heroes defending the tier 1, and instead Shadow Shaman just got initiated on. But you'll definitely give up the Shadow Shaman if it means that you can kill off the Shadow Fiend and Crystal Maiden on Mineski.
The Shadow Shaman just died in a different engagement. Clockwork hooked in.
Right.
And then the wards got dropped. So they essentially traded 1 for 1. But the Shadow Fiend getting caught out there was kind of the big win for Happyfeet.
Yeah, he's #1 net worth. He's a very valuable target, which right now Mushi is going to be going straight into a first item BKB, really. And I can understand why, but really the biggest concern is the Shadow Shaman. And the Shadow Shaman is so squishy at this stage of the game. You almost wonder if it would be in Mushi's best interest to get, like, maybe even a Pike or something like that and just kill the Shadow Shaman, or, you know, at least have some sort of initiating power, because yeah, Clockwork's doing a great job at initiating and he's finding picks, but he needs follow-up at this stage. The idea of solo kills is not really going to happen.
I actually think it's okay, because Mushi understands that as a Shadow Fiend this game, he's not really the tower hitter or the really the ultimate carry, right? That falls onto the Terror Blade.
True.
So even though early BKB generally backfires, because, you know, as the game really goes to be important, like the 35-minute mark, your BKB is at 5 seconds. But in this game, I think that's okay, because Shadow Fiend is really, at least in this game, more about the early towers, the early fights, and BKB will help. Yep. We're going to have a nice cog back in, and Ben-Hur, what is the score again? 2-4 now.
Yeah, it's not great anymore. Crystal Maiden dies to Shadow Shaman and Vengeful Spirit, but yet again, you're managing to kill the core and might manage to transition into a completed, as Adam actually opted to go for a Blade Mail the first item, but
always
still a Metamorphosis.
Always a good choice for a Clockwork.
Oh, definitely. Especially against a troll.
Yeah.
Guess what's happening to Dire's bottom tower?
Oh, looks like they will get the next best thing, which is going to be a tower for Happyfeet. Glyph will be activated. But I think they're looking to defend here. Clockwork Hook is available.
No, 25 seconds.
Oh, just kidding. Right, they just spent it on the mid lane. Sorry.
Yeah.
Mag has the back.
They might find Jules. Why is he weaving in and out like that?
Was he trying to dodge a hook or something?
Maybe actually. It may have been a hook.
May have been not, you know, communicated that hook was used.
Yeah, well, Jules gets out and they get a tier 1. Still, the uncontested Roche advantage, and I don't really know if Raging Potato is going to use this as like a farming Roche, farming Aegis, or more of like a tower pushing Aegis. Definitely nothing until Metamorphosis comes back, but Mineski are in a pretty good position. They have this spike where a bunch of tier 1, tier 2 items have been completed for not only the cores, but the supports, and when you have Metamorphosis, you've got Dragonlance on Shadow Fiend. It's very easy to push towers without committing too much.
They have Manta Style now as well on Raging Potato, so I actually think as soon as Metamorphosis comes up, they could just mow down at least 2 out of these 3 tier 2 towers. So it's going to be up to Happyfeet, you know, to get something done right now. Yaj has the Midas running already, and he's going for the Radiance, which definitely understand where he's coming from, but I wonder if it's going to be a little bit too late.
The Dire might want to mine their top tower.
I'm gonna push up this top tier 2, which is a trade, and definitely
Clockwork Hook here.
Shot.
That's gonna, well, stop the push altogether. Yaj is gonna be on the run. Iron Shell.
They're backing off of him.
Well, they don't want to give him more HP, but they will definitely come back and kill him again. And
Okay.
I actually think Yaj is really secretly their carry right now. So every time they lose Yaj like that, it's really a big blow to Happyfeet.
Yeah, still, yet again, second net worth, possibly even first net worth before he died right there. And Ben-Hur keeps farming the wave.
Ben-Hur. That was...
There's no hook shot, but still.
I mean, they might just run him down, but Face Boot is gonna be enough to get him out. Well, Metamorphosis is back up. They got the Manta Style. Shadow Fiend just cutting in the wave, and this is where I think the early BKB really helps. Like, look at this timing. You got a 20-minute BKB, you got a 20-minute Manta Style, and this tower, like, how do you fight this if you're Happyfeet?
Honestly, they can go for tier 3 after this. If they, like, they don't have the best wave clear on Happyfeet. If they drop the wards, Serpent wards, then yeah, then you can... And with an Aegis, you'd think that you can seize these kinds of opportunities, but instead, it looks like they're going to split. Raging Potato goes bot, which the tier 2 tower was denied by Vengeful Spirit after the initial push. And
Rocket Flare will fly through on top lane. He's got the Iron Shell, and now James will force staff into the trees, but
that's not going to happen.
Wait. Alright. There's that kill.
I'm surprised that Raging Potato has gone bot. It's not... There's nothing really to do there. He was able to farm out the Radiant jungle a little bit, but now I'm not sure if they'll be able to take this top tier 2, which should have been pretty much guaranteed. It still may happen, but I don't know if Happyfeet are going to put up a defense or not, or if Mineski even cares to push it.
I mean, I definitely think that Mineski wants to push towers, but not at the cost of trading. Jesse Vash walks up the hill here. We'll see a bunch of these illusions. So maybe it's Jesse Vash just to make sure that the bottom lane doesn't get pushed into the T2. They could regroup. I mean, this Aegis is still good for a while, right? Actually,
yeah, they've got about like a minute and a half left on it. So they are grouping. Find Yaj.
Yaj walks up the shop. 2400
He's right next to
here.
the shrine. He does not really care.
Well, I mean, kind of clears now here. Clockwork Cook will find Mag, but I'm not sure if they could engage into this. Mag with a surge up, and now they're on the run. Reflection, vacuum backer wall on top, and Yaj does not have the defensive ultimate. He will get blown up immediately. Ben-Hur is gonna be dead instantly. Looks like the Clockwork Cook did miss, but they got an army of illusions under the tower, and they're just saying, let's go mid. We still got the Aegis for a couple seconds. We got meta in 10.
They got meta, and they'll have an arcane rune on that meta, and so as soon as... Man, that's gonna be a close timing, though. I don't know if it's gonna be in time. I think this arcane rune might time out first.
No.
Rip.
Oh. Clockwork Cook will find a Shadow Fiend in.
Nice
This is where the BKB is going to be effective. They War Trap him, vacuum back, and let him rip here. Jules absolutely destroyed. Look at... Oh, wow. Raging Potato.
Nice Sunder.
Defensive Sunder.
Sunder.
He has Aegis, so he's not carrying. And
yeah.
Mushi's also the captain, so he's like, Sunder me, bro. So Raging Potato says, okay, Clockwork Cook, or sorry, Punch Hook, gonna miss out here.
Yes, sir.
And, the early BKB, but in that particular instance is perfect. Great.
Well, technically, he ended up getting dismembered by Pudge anyway. Okay, now
well, no,
Aegis
the
is
Aegis timed out, and now it's gonna be Raging Potato going down. No Sunder. It looks like Shadowfiend also died on the backline. Adams on the retreat. He has Caulk in a couple of seconds. He can Caulk on the high ground here. Caulk. Oh, or do that. That's cool too.
Yeah, hook TP.
All right. So even though Shadowfiend and Terrorblade died, but I think it's fine, right? They got melee racks in 25 minutes.
But given the fact that they're in such a massive lead, it's not that big of a deal. But it's unlucky to say the least. And Shadowfiend BKB made somewhat of a difference. I mean, he got hooked and then he immediately BKB'd. But the thing is that he got dismembered by Pudge anyway, and so he wasn't able to get that initial cast of Requiem. Right. And then after that, the Darkseer broke the Dismember with the Vacuum, and then he was able to get the Requiem. But really, Terrorblade was just burning through everything. No one on Happyfeet even wanted to get close to the Shadowfiend to begin with. But yeah, it's only the first usage. It's a damn shame that the Aegis didn't get used the way that Raging Potato wanted to. He was in a difficult spot because when you're in Metamorphosis and you have that Aegis timing out, you're not like, well, I just want to die anyway, because then you'll respawn it and you won't have a few seconds of Metamorphosis that you should have had, as now Mag goes down after spending Wall on the top lane.
I don't think the wall even hit Ben-Hur, which is his intended target. Well, definitely Happyfeet getting some very key kills. Regardless of what happened with the rack situation, they are doing the best they can. And I gotta say, Mineski does have a big lead, but it's a fragile one, right? You won for first item Shadowfiend BKB, so if you lose a couple more of these fights, I can see the Shadowfiend, somewhat falling off.
Yeah, especially since now Happyfeet have been able to complete a few key items. The Shadow Shaman is surprisingly farmed. Aether Lens plus Force Staff is quite... Oh, Hookshot connects onto the Vengeful. She has Pike.
Nice pushback, and that's going to get him out of the Crystal Maiden with the
Whoa,
Frostbite.
What, the TP?
Whoa, the defensive hook is going to be there, and Jules on the run. And I think he may actually make it out. Okay.
Yeah, he's good.
Did force out Metamorphosis usage from Raging Potato, so now they will try to cut down to the bottom lane.
Oh god, Ben-Hur.
Does he have the map awareness?
Does he have a TP? He does not. But he's actually going to get out. They're going to go kill shrines instead. And Mineski just, they need to play it cool. They have all the resources necessary. They've got aggressive vision in the Radiant base, in the Radiant jungle. You don't really need to wait for the next Roche, but it's coming up soon enough that they can. So just get some vision around the pit. Yeah.
I mean, if you look at Terrible, he's almost nearing a completed Scotty. So why not just wait for Scotty and Aegis, right? Like, how in the world is Happyfeet gonna defend against Scotty?
Yeah, it's true. Mushi has also managed to complete a full AC, and so hopefully they stick to sieging. That last fight, they were kind of fighting more than they needed to. Definitely a product of the fact that Mushi got hooked, but if they're managing to stay behind the stairs, AC plus Metamorphosis Terrorblade plus Scotty on him, you can just shred the towers without having to commit too much. You just need to be aware of where Pudge's positioning is and where VS's positioning with Hook is. With Swap is.
This build that's coming out of Mushi Shadow Fiend was really reminiscent to what he did a couple years back. I think during the DK days where he would like go mech Shadow Fiend into BKB into Butterfly, and he just made himself a siege machine. And well, this is going to be a hard fight for Happyfeet to go up. They will hook one. That's a Clockwork though. Clockwork will die pretty much immediately. Serpent War Trap, they will take down a Clockwork as well. Ninja Boogie will channel his ultimate, and he's actually living through, letting a full ultimate go. But on the backline, Ben-Hur activating his BKB, going hard on Mushi. The Radiance is burning Raging Potato down as well. Fight not looking so good after the supports have died here. And the first hit Basher, he will have Manta, he will have Sunder. In fact, he might need to use both. On the right side.
Oh, what a bash.
Oh man, the bash, and now Mushi's really caught out. They will actually win this fight. Jules gonna go down here, and Mushi will trade his life for the life of Abaddon. So at the end of the day, that was a 9-kill fight, with Troll Warlord being the only one coming out alive, and well, a pretty big net worth change as well as an even bigger experience change.
His engagement, 1.7k gold on him, and probably a massive amount of experience as well, seeing as how he was the last man standing for a large amount of the core kills on Mineski. So, I mean, don't sleep on Troll's talents either. Like, he's been having to build kind of defensive for the most part. The level 10 talent, he's not the main defensive option. He went for the agility instead of the strength, but now he's managed to pick up 40 damage. And 40 damage is a lot on a Troll who has really high attack speed, and so Ben-Hur is getting larger and larger, and you can't do anything to deal with chain bashes on Troll. He will bash you no matter what items you get, unless if you have evasion. And so far, no one on Mineski has built a Solar Crest, no one has built a Butterfly, and so Troll doesn't even have to be concerned about getting True Strike quite yet.
Well, Terrorblade heard you. He's got the Butterfly queued up.
Okay.
He's got the Eye of Scotty finish. They do know somebody's supporting him, but that's Yaj. That's a really tough kill to force out. Roshan is up, and I think for Mineski, it feels like they need this Aegis now. If they give the Aegis to Ben-Hur, this might be a game where they had a pretty sizable lead and can easily throw it away.
They need the Aegis, but they don't need to force the fight. They can stall around, because mid lane's going to be pushing automatically because they've taken that melee racks, and you can send Terrorblade Illusions to push out the top lane in the meantime. And so Mineski have the luxury of being able to take this Roche whenever they want, whereas Happyfeet constantly need to be keeping attention on it, and they don't have like a Clockwork Flare or some other easy vision spell to know when Mineski are doing it, but they need to definitely take the fight, as now Jules might be in trouble.
Oh,
Hookshot.
Jules. Oh, I think Adam wanted to use the pushback.
Bounce him back.
Okay, the punch hook will miss as well, but they actually swap him back in. Mag, blink, back wall on top. Jules immediately assassinated, and now it's going to be Ben-Hur walking back in, but he just dies as well without the backup of Yaj. Oh no, that was not the fight that they were looking for. Raging Potato will charge in. He says, let's go bottom. And do they have buyback? There is one on the Troll, but this is all of a sudden looking not so good anymore.
Hook threads the needle. Troll does buy back. Yaj has to spend borrowed time automatically. And Raging Potato still has a fair amount of time left on this Metamorphosis.
Yep, they'll play it cool. You know, they'll send the illusions in, but Raging Potato is out. He ports away. Oh, they want the Roche.
Yeah, you got the buyback on the Troll, might as well now stall around the pit. But I don't think Happyfeet are going to give it up that easily, because so far this Troll buyback, they need to get something out of it. And if you don't contest the Roche, then it was pretty much for nothing.
Adam, perfect position. He knows that the Pudge is here thanks to the vision, and now he is looking to cut him off. The Clockwork Hook will get actually Jay. Jay getting bashed right now. Defensive force app is going to be their Clockwork Hook. Getting two-man cogs on top, and now Yaj. Oh, he has his ultimate. Yaj getting all of his HP back. Thanks, Ninja Boogie. And now, full HP. He's going to fight them next to his shrine. We'll probably need to activate the shrine. Coming through Yaj. I imagine Black Spike.
Well, He tried valiantly, but
Come on.
what, did you lag out?
Yeah, it says connection problem.
GG. Well, whatever. You're not missing much. 4 heroes are dead for Happyfeet, only Vengeful Spirit's alive, and no one has buybacks, so Mineski's not even bothering for the Roche. They won't have Metamorphosis for this last push, but they still have that AC on Mushi. They've got, you know, a ton of damage on Raging Potato Terrorblade. They're just going to burn through this tower, and it's going to be 10 seconds until the first heroes come up, which will be the Pudge and the Shadow Shaman, but Abaddon and Troll are still dead for a very long time as the top Rex is going to go down.
I do apologize for the issues that we're having. I
forgive you.
I don't even know if it's me or the Dota servers, but
I mean, mine's actually surprisingly clean, which usually on SEA I don't have the best ping. Okay. Maybe I'm stealing all your bandwidth.
Yeah, maybe that's it. So the end result is that they took top Rex, and now they're going back for Roche.
And with Troll being dead for 15 seconds, they don't really have any chance whatsoever contesting this, so Happyfeet are in a very, very deep hole. 14k net worth down, MKB completed onto the Shadow Fiend. Still working on the Butterfly for the Terrorblade, but he's got the Eagle Song, so he's got a ton of damage, and picks up another Arcane Rune, so this is going to be yet another pretty fast Metamorphosis if they start going bot.
Well, let's just say that this last Metamorphosis could just end the game, so
yeah.
I don't know if he needs the Arcane Rune for the following one.
True.
But for now, they'll play it slow. So I do want to ask you about the second half of the team fight after the Troll buyback. Did Troll have the BKB? Because he did have a pretty long duration one, so I wonder it was still on cooldown. So maybe for the second half of the fight, he didn't have the BKB and got into trouble.
It's possible, but either way, I think he was still screwed because he was caught in the cogs, and BKB or not, you're still going to get extremely slowed by Raging Potato Scotty, and so far Troll, like, he's been having substantial issues getting kited. The only time that he won that fight was near the Dire Shrine, and that was by, I guess, his whole team giving him really good initiation. Like, they had the Pudge hooking in the Clockwork, and Clockwork was screwed. Then they had Vengeful Spirit swapping in, I don't remember which target, but it was some target, and then they were screwed. And then you had Abaddon Curse of Avernusing all the remaining cores of Mineski, and so everyone was helping the Troll stick on the targets, but if it's just the Troll by himself, then he has no chance in hell of catching Mineski.
Every time I see a Darkseer, I just think that his level 15 talent is like the most lowsy thing ever. Plus 120 damage.
It's gotten really popular. Initially, people were like, who the hell's gonna get damage on him?
Right.
But now more and more Darkseers are like, dude, what do I need the health regen for? I build like 1,000 health regen items to begin with.
Well, at the same time, what do you need the damage for? I guess you're right-clicking neutrals? Or
well, you don't need to always put the shell on yourself that way, because like if you you put a shell on a creep wave, then you can go punch the jungle yourself, which it's a pretty low cooldown, especially with the cooldown reduction talent, but it just allows, like, you can stick it on your allies, and then you can let them farm for you while you keep punching creeps.
Okay, okay. Top lane here.
I don't think this smoke is necessary.
I mean, move faster, dude.
Yeah, but they want to get a pick with it. I don't know why they're not just sieging. They have the Aegis on Shadow Fiend. Why are you needing to play cute?
Clockwork Hook, not gonna hit. Neither is the Pudge Hook.
You just need to really say Hook. That way you cover all your bases.
There you go.
So far, every single time you've said Clockwork, it's been Pudge, like, every single time.
Dude, I've been getting the two confused. There you go, there's a Pudge Hook hitting here.
That's a Pudge Hook, alright?
Yep.
Double force staff.
Back outside, but Mushi going to work here. Look at all of the siege. How do you defend this? I don't know.
You don't. You lose. That's game, pretty much.
They dropped the wards right now, but that's Ben-Hur in there. Ben-Hur, he is dead, just to the illusions. Okay, Mag will surge back out. Pudge Hook. I almost said Clockwork Hook. That will also miss.
Just say Hook. Just say Hook. Mega Creeps all but secured aside from one range Rax on the top lane, but they're not going to need it. Jules tries to swap his way out, but all the supports are dying. He's evading quite a bit, but it's curtains.
Oh, double buyback's going to come out. They're going to have to make something happen. Yaj doesn't have his ultimate yet, and I think Dire knows, so they could just focus on him.
Mushi still has Aegis.
Yep. Also getting earned back, but that's Mega Creeps. Ninja Boogie took that last range Rax up top. Hook going in here, and now Venge, well, getting bounced around like a ping pong ball. Back and forth she goes. And the GG comes out.
Honestly, I'd say Adam's my MVP for this game.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely secured the early game for the Darkseer and made sure that Vengeful Spirit was just not able to ever be a strong core. Was able to basically just scar Ben-Hur. Every single time Ben-Hur Troll came into a lane, he would be there for a good 5 seconds and then promptly get hookshotted. And then, you know, Adam didn't really manage to find very many big hooks in the late game, but by that time he already secured Mineski everything that they needed.
I agree absolutely. I think during the second half he was starting to have the issue that you talked about during the drafting stage, which is you're initiating as a support, you just die in the beginning. But he gave his team such a big lead. I think he shut down Jules, he shut down Jesse Vash. I felt like these two picks had very little impact. And then overall, Raging Potato and Mushi just put the team on the shoulder, both respectively with 10 and 3 KD. And, you know, good scores, and yeah, they put the team on the shoulder and got the easy W. So I gotta say, Max looks like a good fit, but Adam definitely the MVP for me.
Yeah, and I think most people would have considered Mineski to be the favorites. Not that favorites have been meaning much in SEA, because every single time there's a quote unpredictable result, everyone's like, yeah, you know, I can kind of see how that team won. But yeah, most people have a lot of faith in this Mineski roster, and they're definitely coming through.
Well, Happyfeet's got their backs against the wall right now. They are facing elimination in the next match. We'll take a break, guys, and see whether Happyfeet could bring it back. Game 2 coming your way.